I have just bought this Ford Transit L3H3 ex-electricity board van to turn into the ultimate stealth camper. But before we could even get started on the conversion, there was a mechanical problem. We needed a complete new clutch and new gearbox because it was absolutely stacked. But what can you expect when you only pay £5,800 for the van? The fix cost £2,600, which basically destroyed my conversion budget. Now it's fixed, now we can crack on with the conversion. Last episode, we made it pretty inside. We gave it the deepest clean in the front, made it look amazing, polished it all up. It's looking sweet, it's smelling sweet. We cleaned up the floor, we gave it a real good wire brush, rust treated it all, primed it and repainted the floor. It's now beautifully white and looking mint. Today we begin the insulation process and I'm waiting on a delivery. Oh, Dodomat for the win, and there's more. Yes! Big up Dodomat, they have delivered in a big way. I've used this on the last build, absolutely rate it. So today we are gonna get the floor insulated, the subfloor laid, and the flooring put down, hopefully. Brackets. If you wanna grab yourself any Dodomat stuff, I will put a link in the description. I don't get any commission, but there is a 10% discount. So if you're planning a build, this is what you want in your van. Materials required. I've been and picked up 3 sheets of 12mm plywood. That was about 70 quid from Wix. For the insulation, we are using Dodomat DEADEN DUO, which is a combination of both sound deadener and thermoliner, all wrapped into one. Dead easy to apply. So I am not battening the floor and I am not using PIR board, mainly because the previous van was built for the Arctic. We were going to the Arctic, we went to the Arctic. We've got some winter trips planned where it will be sub-zero. However, this van is the stealth van. It's the mountain bike van. It is a UK van. I don't think you need that extra weight and that extra fuss of putting the PIR board in. And luckily, Dodomat make the perfect product for it. Before we can crack on and put that floor insulation, there's a couple of things I just need to do. One, I need to cover up all of these old bolt holes that we've drilled out and rust treated. 2, we need to sort out this hole where the diesel heater was. And the other thing I want to do, oh, it's dark in here. Actually, bought something for this. Hang about Amazon special, 30 something quid each. 2 of them, because winter's coming and I need to film in here. Boom. And get this. Yes. How good's that? Also, I thought these will be mint for camping because I'll put a link to these in the description. I just found on Amazon. Got a mood light. So around the campfire, boom. Happy days. How good's that? I'm right happy with them. The other job before we can lay the insulation is I want to make sure the floor is level because I know from the crafter that bit down there rolls off. I want to just bring it all up to the right height with ply inserts before we put the insulation and ply down on top. Let's get on with it. Right, to seal up all the old screw holes, 2 things. 1, stainless steel discs, just off Amazon, and 2, Sikaflex 522. Dabber Sikaflex. Oh, it needs warming up. It doesn't like these cold temperatures. And then just bang that on. Boom. Easy as that. Sikaflex. Right, I'll nail all those back in a minute. Yes, these are now glued down and in place. So there we go, covered up all the little holes. I am just going to trim that glue back a little bit so they're nice and level. Obviously, I was missing about 4, so I've had to order a couple more. The next job is, I just want to do a little bit of prep to the walls of the van. There's quite a few little drill holes. I'm going to drill them out, prime those, and then anywhere where there's a bit of exposed metal or a little bit of rust, I'm going to rub that down and give it a coat of primer. Let's go. Yo, buddy, I'll take that. I need that right now. Cheers, buddy. Nice one, thank you. Why do people have to screw in? I know it's quick and easy, but... Right, a little bit of wire brushing on those. This wire brush is just whipping off all of that loose paint and rust, getting it nice and ready for some fresh paint. Right, I've just finished sticking all of those little discs on. Here. As you can see, there's quite a few holes in the floor. The reason I've done that is I don't want any water getting up through the bottom of the van. I just figured that was the best way to kind of make the floor fully watertight. A little bit of rust killer on those drilled holes. Right, whilst that's drying, before we can put a little bit of primer on those, there's two large holes I need to fill in the floor. That one there, the old diesel heater, and there's also one back here. I've ordered some stainless steel plate cut to size off the internet. That's arrived for that one. I stupidly didn't order some for that little hole. I did nip down to the local metal fabricators and he gave me a little bit of plate steel. So I'm going to cut a bit of plate steel, bond it down on top of there. 90 by 90 is what I need to cut. Here we go, in with the fun tools, getting the angle grinder out. Make sure you've got those goggles on because you do not want an angle grinding blade in the face. A little bit of a wire brush again just to clean it up, get any rust off it, and then it's ready for some priming. 2mm steel plate. Would have preferred it to be 1mm, would have preferred it to be stainless steel, but it is what it is. I'm going to prime it up so that it's got some paint on it and it doesn't rust, and then we'll bond it down into position. This is just Sikaflex Primer 207. Goes off really quick, which is why I use it. The red stuff would be just as good as well, it just takes 24 hours to go off. There's the fucking lid gone. I just spend so much time looking for stuff. I literally waste hours just like, where is that tool? Where have I put it? Where's the lid? Where's the lid? Oh, the fucking metal's on the lid. Oh, what an idiot. Now that this is dry, we can bond it down in position. So that is going there. A little bit of Sikaflex. And that just goes onto there. Bosh, waterproof vehicle. Right, whilst we've got the primer out, I'm going to prime up those little holes. Little cotton bud, and just working my way around all of them, in and out. Job's a good one. Done a load of priming, but I need your help. Any people that know these Ford Transit vans well, what is the part number for this step here? This is a rear wheel drive van. I want a OEM step to go on there, plastic step. The other thing I want is that fuse board cover, whatever it is, that is missing. I'd like to replace that as well. So if you know what those parts are, drop them in the comments or DM me on Instagram. I'd be mega grateful. Next job is the big diesel heater hole in the floor. This one here. I have bought this stainless steel plate cut to size. Two options with this. Option one would be to try and bend that around and over the ridges in the floor. If it was mild steel, I reckon I would have been able to do that with a hammer and a bit of persuasion. However, because it's stainless steel, I think that's going to be quite tricky. So option number two is to bond it up from the underside into that position using some Sikaflex 522, and then I'm going to pop rivet it to the floor. So it needs a bit of a clean before we can bond anything to that. That good old alcohol spray. The other benefit of doing it from the underside is if by some cruel twist of fate my diesel heater doesn't go where I'm planning for it to go at the back and it does have to go in the bench seat here, I'll be able to get this plate off, whereas if I put it on top I'm gonna have to take up half the floor. I've got this bit of wood, I think you call it a sprag, I don't know if somebody told me that, but this sprag just to keep the stainless steel up, that is in position there. Back up top, there's the stainless steel plate, there's my hole, there's already holes drilled, so I'm just going to use those. I'm going to drill these with a 5mm drill bit, and then I've got some stainless steel pop rivets. Just mark them up here. Right, centre punch the holes for drilling metal. Quick sand of this, quick clean, and quick prime. There we go, primed up. Nice big bead of Sikaflex 522 around here. Oh, I hope I don't have to get this off. Under the van we go. That is in position. I'm gonna pop rivet it from the inside. Oh. Nice. There we go. Might just put a little bit of Sikaflex through there. Boom, happy days. Right, that is this day done. How much does the van now weigh? Now the van is fully empty. I wanted to find out how much it weighs and how much payload we've got left. So I've come to my local weighbridge and I'm gonna get it weighed. And if you're doing a build, I really recommend finding out how much payload you've got available to you, because I found in my last build, it really does add up. Okay to get it weighed? Okay to weigh the van, pal?
We can't do it!
I might pop back Friday or something. Yeah. Alright, buddy. Thank you,
right,
mate. Cheers, buddy. Okay. Ta-da, mate. That's annoying, the weigh bridge is broken. Hiya, mate.
Right.
Can I just weigh me van? Thank you, mate.
If you wanted to print out, I'd have to try and do.
Oh no, you're a legend, that's all. 2280.
Back at the yard. So total weight of the van is 2280. 2,280 kilograms, not including me, and I've got pretty much no fuel in the vehicle at all. Maximum vehicle weight can be 3.5 tons, minus off 2280, minus off 80 for me, 1140. Well over a ton in weight. And actually, there's loads of stuff on this build that isn't heavy, if that makes sense. I haven't got a bathroom going in. Well, I haven't got a full bathroom going in. I've got a stealth bathroom going in. I haven't got rear seats, the fold out rear seats. They were really heavy as well. I think we're gonna cruise through this. I'm gonna give it another weigh kind of once we're halfway down the build, and then obviously we'll do a final weigh as well. Back on the van. Last job before we can put the insulation in is making sure it's level. And what I mean by that, the floor is level. However, where you enter and exit the van, the floor isn't quite level. Or if I put some insulation on, I've got a real issue with saying insulation now, because I got called out for saying insulation, and now I can't get that out of my brain. If we don't pack the entrance and exits of the van before we put the insulation down and put the ply down, basically the ply could bend and then start to fall apart. So if you see here, obviously we've got a gap underneath this step. So I just want to bring something to bring that level all the way along. Also, here we can see that this is going to need packing out as well. Back with the Sikaflex 522, sticking these down. This is going to give us a really solid base for our plywood to go on and make sure that it doesn't start to fall apart as soon as we stand on it. Morning, early start. 3 boxes of Dodomat Deaden Duo. Right, I've gone with this instead of going with PIR board, which is what I used in the last van, although I will use it through winter in the UK. But I didn't want as much insulation in the floor, and I wanted something that was easier to apply, and this is that. This stuff is so easy to use. All you do is peel the paper back, slap it down on the floor. There's even these handy lines on the back. You can just easily cut it to the right length. Thanks, Dodomat. You have thought of everything. This Duo Deaden is going to get rid of all that road noise, and it's also going to insulate the floor, making it nice and toasty when we're in the van. feel like I'm giving a sports massage to the floor. Happy ending with that. It's going down really quickly. It's going down really easily. One thing I'm finding is it's more human error. I'm just struggling almost to kind of keep it straight. I think because I started and I wanted to get it in the groove around the cab area, so I cut it out. That one wasn't quite straight. So the rest are kind of wobbling along, and I just keep having to pull it up and put it back down because I'm trying to get as minimal size gap as possible, but at the same time, I don't want it to overlap. But it's looking neat, look at that. Gutted, I've just folded this over, took too much of the paper off, and it's actually stuck, and I can't get that apart without damaging it. I'm gonna have to cut that bit off. What an idiot. What a waste. Good job I've got a bit spare. Floor is insulated and finished. I have also covered the wheel art. I'm probably going to add another layer of thermoliner onto there later on just to make it extra insulated, seeing as there's no wood going on top of it. That one needs doing. 3, 2, 1. That is all of the DUO down. We are fully floor insulated and sound deadened. Last little bit of insulation, silver tape. I'm just going to tape the joints to give a nice vapor barrier, and then we're on to the ply. I am going to tape round the edges all round here, but you don't need to see that. Ready? 3, 2, 1, done. Yes! Done. Fully foil taped, insulated, all the seams. I've taped all round the edge, brought it up, and I've also taped on the edge there, basically just to make it nice and waterproof, so if anything does spill, it won't get underneath the insulation. That was easy to put down. Took me the best part of a couple of hours, all in. Next job, and we are going to need this, which is the old floor and 3 sheets of 12mm ply. I'm going to simply lay those sheets of ply on the floor, put the old floor on top of it, trace it round, cut it out, done. Somewhere like that. Yes, free template. That's why you should keep this. I would not dream of putting that down, but if it was in good condition, maybe you would. The problem with them is those floors are really heavy, and this one smells like oil, which is why we're definitely not reusing it. We actually need to come 30mm out of there. Right, let's get these sheets off. Done. Now we need to cut those out. Trestles. Yes. YouTube magic is just the best. Makes it look so easy. Plywood sheet. Just going to use the trusty circular saw and the trusty jigsaw. Got a nice fine blade in there. Makes a good job of it. Cue the time lapse. Slight problem. I have test fitted it. It is a little bit tight, so I've just marked round a couple of mil, and I'm just gonna nip a little bit off. Test fit number 2. There we go. Yes, they fit. They're in, but we're going to take them back out because I've got 2 things I want to do. 1, to make them extra secure, and 2, to make my life a lot easier. They look all right then, don't they? Happy days. But first, we need to lay something out. Flooring, yes. I went with exactly the same flooring that's in the other camper van. It's worn really well. It's Altro flooring, but I did go for a different colour. Ranch Oak. This is the colour. Well, there's going to be a massive skylight in the van, but because there's no windows, I'm going for a pretty light theme inside. So I just thought I'll go with the lighter one. And also, it's different, isn't it? New van. If I do the same, it's boring. So I'm going to lay this out on the floor. Then I'm going to put my plywood on top, cut that out straight from the template of the floor. And then the flooring is just going to be a really easy job to install. Yes, done. That is cut. There's also one more thing I want to do whilst the boards are out before we put them in. Because this is a floating floor, I'm not screwing this down to the floor. All I'm going to do is bond it down. Where the boards join here could be a place of like weakness or movement. So I've got a plan. New tool, the biscuit jointer. So my plan is to biscuit joint a load of little biscuits in all the way along on those joins. This biscuit jointer, when you push it down, it exposes that cutting disc there. You do it on both sides of the ply, and then you slot this little wooden biscuit in, glue it in place, and it gives a really solid joint. All I need to do is mark where we're going to have our biscuits. I'm going to do quite a few because I want it to be nice and strong. So kind of like every 20 centimeters. So they just slot in there like that. Bit of glue, proper sturdy fit. Right, one sheet down, two more to do. And we're losing the light. I'm trying to get this video finished so that it can come out on Sunday. Look, it's Friday today. Done. Right, let's get these boards in the van. Okay. Oh, in we go. Ow, leg cramp. Oh, oh, oh. That's it. Oh. Last sheet. Oop. Yes! In. Happy days. They are in. Look at the fitment. Well happy with that. I am absolutely gutted though that I haven't got them bonded down and I haven't got the floor on, because that was my aim for this video, but I've just run out of time. So you're gonna have to tune in next week to see me bond these down, get the biscuit joints in place, get the floor on, and I'm sure there's a whole host of other jobs we're going to be doing. Thank you for watching this video. Please hit that subscribe button. It really does help the channel grow. Hit the hype button as well. That can really boost my videos up. And with your help, maybe this dream might become a reality. Click here if you want to see another really useful build video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.